Stock rally fizzles on revived inflation fears. Tokyo Asian shares slipped throughout the board on Wednesday, failing to extend Wall Street's rally as chronic concerns approximately interest prices and inflation remained a key awareness for buyers, whilst the Japanese yen hit a sparkling 24-year low towards the greenback. MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific stocks outdoor Japan fell 1.39%, nonetheless up 1.02% on the more than 5-week low it hit on Monday. Tokyo's Nikkei gave up early profits and become flat. Investors are continuing to assess how worried they need to be about principal banks pushing the sector economy into recession as they attempt to lower pink warm inflation with interest price increases. The fundamental U.S. share benchmarks rose 2% overnight at the possibility the economic outlook won't be as dire as concept throughout exchange final week when the S&P 500 logged its largest weekly percentage decline in view that March 2020. But the carry in sentiment did no longer closing lengthy with S&P 500 and Nasdaq futures both down nearly 1% on Wednesday whilst EUROSTOXX 50 futures misplaced 1.3% and FTSE futures shed 0.9%. I suppose that this latest post-holiday inter-marketplace rally is a mirrored image of the uncertainty that investors have concerning whether we have visible the peak of inflation and Fed hawkishness or no longer. I think we are close, stated Invesco worldwide market strategist for Asia-Pacific David Chow. Even though I suspect global equity markets may want to stop higher on the quid of the year than in which were these days, it is doable to assume persevered market volatility till it becomes clean that the Fed isn't going to force the U.S. financial system into contraction on the way to tamp down chronic tiers of inflation. Chinese blue chips lost 0.44%, Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index fell 1.24% and South Korea's Kospi turned into down 1.82%. U.S. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell is because of start his testimony to Congress on Wednesday with buyers seeking out in addition clues approximately whether or not every other 75 basis point rate hike is on the cards in July. Economists polled by using anticipate the Fed will supply a 75 basis point hobby fee hike next month, followed by means of a half percentage point upward push in September, and might not scale back to quarter percentage point moves till November on the earliest. Most other international primary banks are in a similar state of affairs, aside from the Bank of Japan, which closing week pledged to preserve its policy of ultra-low hobby prices. The gap between low interest charges in Japan and growing U.S. rates has weighed on the yen, which hit a brand new 24-year low of 136.71 in keeping with dollar in early buying and selling, before drifting less attackable to 136.25. Minutes from the Bank of Japan's April coverage assembly released Wednesday showed the significant bank's worries over the impact the plummeting currency should have at the U.S. business environment. Other foreign money moves had been greater muted on Wednesday, with the dollar index, which tracks the greenback towards 6 friends, a touch less assailable at 104.62. The yield on benchmark U.S. 10-year Treasuries become pretty steady at 3.2617%. Oil charges fell with U.S. President Joe Biden predicted on Wednesday to name for a transient suspension of the 18.4 cents a gallon federal tax on fuel, a source briefed on the plan instructed. Brent dropped 3.37% to $110.79 a barrel, even as U.S. crude fell 3.71% to $105.46. Spot gold dropped 0.32%, trading at $1,826.72 an ounce. Bitcoin lost 6.54% from its Tuesday excessive, trading at $20,288 after falling as little as $17,592 last week.